Jordan Peterson cannot stop crying. He cannot stop crying. Here he is discussing the youth. And he doesn't just cry, he yells.
And you think, well, we're going to destroy the planet. We have to do this. We have to demoralize the youth to be ethical. It's like, yeah, really? That's your theory? You're going to demoralize young people to be ethical? That's your theory? It's like, you should go home and think about that for like a year. And I'm passionate about this, because
oh, God.
I have no idea how many people that's killing. You have no idea. I see people everywhere, all over the world. They're so demoralized, especially young people with a conscience, because they've been told since they were little that there's nothing to them but corruption and power. It's like, how the hell do you expect them to react? Well, I shouldn't do anything then,
I will say,
fetal positioning right there.
I like Jordan Peterson's voice. I like it so much because it sounds like Kermit. I don't like what he says in the voice, but I think that the voice is quite pleasant. It's a shame that he's gone down this route.
There's a really funny moment in that. Well, the whole thing is really funny, and obviously the crying is funny. But there's a face he makes when he gets angry. It's a split second one, but to me, that's my favorite moment of that clip. Jordan Peterson is a very funny, angry face.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about with the whole demoralize people so they're ethical thing, but he is saying it at the Hoover Institution, which, just to remind folks, is just like an oligarchy a think tank. And you want to talk about like what we also just played a clip of Charlie Kirk saying the one upside to a recession is that these smug workers are going to get what's what and be disciplined a little bit and be taught a lesson. That is the type of like disciplining that goes on in America that the powerful do to the people that kill so many of them, and literally does. It literally has people going out in the pandemic working shitty jobs for like barely above minimum wage and catching diseases. We killed 1 million people. So that's what's killing people. It is coercion of working people.
No, he's just trying to claim that because we are educating young people about the realities of climate change, the realities of income inequality, the things that might be a little uncomfortable, that is demoralizing the youth, and it's making them despondent, and so it's killing people, and they're dying. Like these people, conservatives, they really just want you to live in a bubble and not be educated about the world, because otherwise it's just too scary. I mean, his perception of human beings' fragility, it's fairly pathetic, honestly.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it is like the desperation from, the right wing and their sort of thought mongers to maintain this bubble around children so that they are, basically until they have been indoctrinated enough by their parents and these sorts of thinkers on YouTube to like treat all of our inequality as though it's normal and the only way things can be. And the younger you treat them, naturalizing it. And so the only thing that they can do is, feel powerless in the sort of doctrine of right wing, like society where like this stuff is natural and all you can do is sort of like cry about it. But in reality, I think a lot of people who are advocating for teaching LGBTQ equality, who are teaching racial equality, are advocating it so that these children can grow up and change the world, not just be forced to be held hostage by a few sort of like, I'd say boomers who want to make sure that people are, continuing to give credence to the sort of lessons that they learned as children.
But it's safer to be held hostage, and it makes me feel it makes me feel a little bit warmer and cozy when I can deny the realities of society, and I'm going to project my own emotional instability onto the rest of the population and claim that this is the most dire thing because I feel uncomfortable when people throw facts and figures in my face.
I just hope he started eating vegetables again,
Me too.
Yeah, stay away from the cider. Art House Politics has a clip here that I don't know if this is I've clipped this before, but I can't find my own version of it. But this is Jordan Peterson, vintage style.
When it comes to the serious business of sex, women will choose a testosterone-charged world record most of the time. It's the testosterone-laden man who is most attractive when women are fertile.
I'd like to know more about different kinds of hormones.
Welcome to the jungle.
Remember those 50s hat-sporting fathers who stayed married, supported their families, and repressed women? Well, they're headed for extinction.
Fantasies.
Just what kind of man is to replace the chauvinists of yesterday? Canadian political actors. What a sensible group to do. Perhaps it's time to find a tame, lower status boy. I would have said, not enough testosterone. I'm Jordan Peterson. Sophistication. The archetypal bad boy. The perfect mate for the modern single mother. The one fathering your grandchildren in the future. The battle for absolute control. For masculine impulses. Here's a thought. A portable Nintendo. Very popular and encourage desirable behavior.
I can't get over the hat he's wearing while saying these things. The hat he's wearing while saying these
I was about to
things.
say, all incels can project and connect with me because of the hat that I've chosen to wear. It's a fedora, only worn by sexless men.
When you put the hat on him and with like the sort of warm wash over it, it just like it removes the illusion that what he's saying has any sort of real intellectual rigor behind it. And he just sounds like every other like pickup artist that was really popular in the early 2000s. Like there's no difference between like him and Mystery from the pickup artist show, other than the fact that I think Mystery was also Canadian too, other than the fact that Mystery seemed to have like occasionally good advice. And this guy just breaks down in tears.
No, he just ignorance is bliss, but I'm going to like put more words in it and yeah.
Hold on, I had to look it up. How did you remember that Mystery was Canadian?
I never forgot.
Hashtag never forget.
His vibe in that video with that cinematic effect and his fedora, he does look like a guy in those sort of like 1940s Double Indemnity style movies. The noirs, where you think he's going to be the main villain in like the first third of the movie, but he gets revealed as he's just like some henchman that was put up to it, and he's like, "I'm sorry, they just paid me $50."
Yeah. The hero lets him go because he's not worth it.
It's like, damn, how far does this go up? I thought I found the guy.
That's kind of him, right? Like he's pathetic. He's not worth it, but he is fun to mock. Oh, is he fun to mock?
And what's also funny is that all these guys. Like this older crowd of like, you know, Crowder makes sense in like the like Bill O'Reilly lineage, but they're adding all these weirdos.
Yeah.
Right? Like Peterson and the Weinsteins, like that aren't that like pretend they're not conservative and stuff like that. It's weird to see how that's going to play out as all these guys develop their mental illnesses.
Well, I mean,
through affluence.
I feel like the far right is very insecure about the whole, you know, like we're not allowed on campuses train of thought in their head. So the fact that Jordan Peterson is like a college professor, like really like gives this air of legitimacy to like a lot of their ideas that otherwise, you know, it doesn't have. That's why they also let in any like terrible comedian, like an old Benjamin thing. Like they're mad that right wingers aren't funny, and that's like a big part of their pathology. So like a lot of this is just like, okay, anyone who has a doctorate, no matter how unrelated to what we're talking about, is given special, like, you know, a special platform because there are so few of them who are willing to advocate like for right wing insanity, except for economists, obviously. Just like, you know, whenever like anti-vaxxers find anybody who has like any kind of scientific, you know, any sort of argument for scientific adjacency, like chiropractors or like first year nurses, like they push them forward. Yeah, they just push them forward because they just need that kind of legitimacy and they're always grasping for it. At least in certain circles.
The funny thing about Jordan Peterson that I recently ran into was I had on Scam Economy Ryan Broderick, who attended the Bitcoin conference in Miami like a month or two ago. And Jordan Peterson was the main speaker. And interestingly enough, you know, all the people speaking there were obviously had like right-wing ties for the most part. And they're all super bullish on Bitcoin. It's going to save the world, change everything, going to fix all of our problems. But then main eventer Jordan Peterson comes on stage. And he honestly, like, obviously he was promotional of it, but then he also had some like real sort of like warning takes and why like Bitcoin, if Bitcoin did take over, why that concerns him. And now, you know, it could crumble the financial system and not in a good way like they all think. And Ryan Broderick, who was there, was telling me when I was talking with him, he was like, it was interesting because they were hooting and hollering for him when he came out. And then like halfway through his speech, they're all sitting there with where like they like the guy, but they also love Bitcoin. You could tell there was some real like frustration going on in there. Like their worldview was being shattered by this guy they loved. And at the same time, they wanted to attack him because they were attacking Bitcoin. They were just so confused over it. So I did appreciate Jordan Peterson for doing that. That was pretty funny.
That's the dialectic, you know.